back. I'm sorry this got started out wrong, and when it's live, but sometimes you have to just say, I gotta start all over again. Anyway, a lot of what I say until I go off on my fun tangents, is from a teleprompter that's in front of me. If you had to memorize all the facts and history, you basically would be never getting anything done. So a teleprompter really makes sure you have everything that you need to say. And what happened is, for some reason, even though I put all the new stuff for Clyde, I had some information still left from Stubby, the wonderful World War I war hero that I did yesterday. So, get out the old, get in the new. Okay, let's get going here. I'm sorry, and I appreciate your patience on anything that goes wrong and that I have to do again. Anyway, okay, we're talking about Clyde the Orangutan. Now, if you don't know or do know, I have Big Orange as one of my employees under both All Power Group and Phoenix Animal. And he's great. He works hard. He is what I would consider the sales manager for everything we do. So let's get started. Okay, Clyde the Orangutan is best known for his roles in the films Every Which Way But Loose in 1978 and its sequel Any Which Way You Can in 1980, starring alongside Clint Eastwood. Now, I've always loved Clint. I know he's pretty old and he looks pretty old. God bless him. I know his girlfriend just passed away recently, and I'm very sorry for that. But, I guess we have to realize that not everything goes exactly the way we would like. Okay, talking about Clyde. He was born in the early 1970s. He was trained for his roles in Hollywood, where he quickly became a beloved animal actor. Orangutans are known for their intelligence and expressive faces, making them ideal for certain types of roles in films and television. Every Which Way But Loose in 1978, this was Clyde's first introduction, and he was in this film, Every Which Way But Loose, and it was directed by James Fargo. The movie was a comedy that featured Clint Eastwood as Philo Beddoe, a trucker and bare-knuckle brawler who roams the American West. Clyde played Philo's loyal pet and sidekick, adding unique and humorous dynamics to the film. The movie was a commercial success, partly due to Clyde's endearing performance. Now, you might say, Jim, you could be doing a lot of different topics on YouTube, and I do work with animals. Not a lot of folks would say, oh, wow, this is the best thing from sliced bread. But it just makes me feel good. And I know some of my supporters here do also feel good, too, when they learn a little bit more about somebody they either did know a little bit about or they knew nothing about. Okay, then as you know, the Any Which Way You Can in 1980, that was also successful, and the sequel was also successful, and it was directed by Buddy Van Horn. His film continued to the adventures of Philo and Clyde. Once again, Clyde's performance was a highlight, and the movie was well received by audiences. Yes, I watched both of them probably more than once. Clyde was trained by a professional animal trainer to perform various tricks and behaviors required for the films. His ability to follow commands, interact with Eastwood and other actors made him a standout character. Clyde's trainers worked closely with him to ensure safety and well-being on the set. Now, you know, we want to worry about animals, but as you know, and I've said this before, in any of these film issues, they have very strict rules to ensure that the animal is being well taken care of. There's no abuse here. Some would feel this is not right. An animal shouldn't be asked to do things like this. But, you know, inside, as I said, they're treated well, and they actually probably have some fun here, and they learn some new things. I mean, that's almost what I do whenever I'm doing a new topic. I have probably heard of what I'm doing, but nowhere near do I have the information and the facts that are what you want to see and what I need to know. So, anyway, the roles in these films left a lasting impression on audiences and contributed to the popularity of animal characters in movies. His performances showcased the intelligence and charm of orangutans, bringing attention to those remarkable animals. Now, with Big Orange, as I mentioned, you know, Big Orange is an orangutan, and he's one of my employees. He's the sales manager. And I hired him because just a lot of what I'm saying here, he's smart, he can learn things to do, and he really, really helps me with becoming successful. And I pay him well, along with Miss Perfection. Jamie's the CEO. And then we have Big Gorilla, who is the spokesman for the company. And he will say, either you do this or I'm going to hit you. Or you're going to buy this, I'm going to hit you. That's the best way to sell things, right? Threaten people. Anyway, I know I laugh at my own jokes, but if I'm the only one here, other than you out in video land, you know, smiling is better than not smiling. Okay, now let's get into some controversies with animal welfare. And you know, we always get to, there's always the good and there's the bad. While Clyde's performances were loved by many, his time in Hollywood was not without controversy. There were concerns about the treatment of animals in the film industry during that era, and reports surfaced about the mistreatment of Clyde, which highlighted the need for better animal welfare. You know, they needed to, in their opinion, improve the standards in the entertainment industry. These issues have since led to more stringent regulations and oversight to protect animal actors. Now, in conclusion, Clyde remains an iconic character in film history. His work alongside Clint Eastwood in the late 1970s and early 1980s continues to be remembered fondly by fans. Clyde's legacy also serves as a reminder of the importance of animal welfare in the entertainment industry. Now, okay. Another picture of Clyde. And I will always have a tendency to watch happy movies with animals. I will not, and I've said this before, I know I repeat myself sometimes, I will not watch anything with an animal that has a sad ending, like Bambi, as I mentioned one time. Also, Old Yeller. If they're sad and the doesn't have a good ending, a happy ending, I don't watch it. I also don't like to watch movies with people that, you know, have very unhappy endings. It's almost one of those things where there's enough unhappy endings in the world now, in reality. I don't want to watch a movie that has an unhappy ending. And I know sometimes these leave you up a little bit as to what actually happened. And you try to rationalize and say, no, it probably worked okay. The animal was fine. Well, maybe not. So that's the whole truth. The whole truth, but nothing but the truth. Anyway, today is Thursday. And, you know, I'll be on the air most of the day doing different things. You know, I do this live version. And then I go and do shorts, and at least one short related to him or, you know, Clyde. And anything else that seems to make sense in a form of short. The last thing I'll say, the interesting thing with shorts, unless you do YouTube, you have to really get into a good story and get it where people know it has a beginning, it has a good ending, but it all has to be within 59 seconds or less. That's kind of a challenge every day. And believe it or not, if you go to a minute, 60 seconds, or 61 seconds, it will then, instead of it being listed on the short side of YouTube, it goes on to what we consider, we could call long, but, you know, 59 seconds versus 61 seconds doesn't go from a short to a long. But hey, you know, we get paid big bucks, so we just have to do what we have to do. But anyway, thank you for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you again. Okay, Jim Whitehead here. Thank you.